Yo, welcome to PTA Sports. I am your host, Pest the Analyst, and today we're going to cover a topic that I got asked about a couple of days ago, and it kind of made me sit down and really think about it. Basically, what the question was with the moves that we made via free agency and the draft, did we get better in the trenches? So I'm going to cover defense today, okay? That's going to be the first thing I'm going to cover is defense, because you all know I'm a defensive line coach. That's what I do by trade. That's what I played when I played, is defensive line. So I wanted to just kind of take some time and go over the defensive line. And then in a future video, we'll cover the offensive line. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to just name off the people who are currently on our roster, all right? The first group that I'm going to talk about is the first group that I'm going to list off is just going to be classified as interior defensive linemen, right? Because we run a 3-4 scheme. These guys, in my opinion, are just interior defensive linemen. It does not matter if they play nose tackle, defensive tackle, or defensive end. Doesn't matter, right? Because these guys are all interchangeable depending upon what the scheme is, what the package is, what the team wants to do. So let's go ahead and list them off. All right, we got Leonard Williams, okay? We got Dexter Lawrence. We got Danny Shelton, Breeland Speaks, BJ Hill, Nico Lalos, RJ McIntosh, Austin Johnson, and David Moa, okay? Those are the guys that we currently have that would be classified as interior defensive linemen. So let's just kind of talk about this bunch, okay? Now, obviously, right, with the loss of Dalvin Tomlinson to free agency, there's a lot of Giants fans that feel like maybe this defensive line is not going to be as good as we was last year. I don't agree, okay? Anybody that's been paying attention knows that I personally always said, even though I like Dalvin Tomlinson, even though I like what he brings to the team, okay, I always felt that what he did was replaceable, okay? And it's hard, right, to replace a player of his caliber, both on the field and in the locker room. But the production that Dalvin Tomlinson gave us, I always felt was kind of replaceable, okay? Will we possibly suffer a bit without him being there from a continuity standpoint? Possibly, okay? Yeah, possibly. But I definitely feel like we could take like a Dexter Lawrence, put him in Tomlinson's position, and maybe bump BJ Hill up, because I always liked what BJ Hill did from the standpoint of him, you know, shooting gaps, taking up double teams, and stopping the run, okay? BJ Hill had a great year, his first year, and then for some reason he kind of fell to the wayside. But when I look at our interior defensive linemen, I feel like, we still got a good core group of guys here. We still got some guys that can get the job done. And then with the addition of Breeland Speaks, right? And obviously, we're not going to really know what we're going to get from Breeland Speaks with his first year, on this team, learning the terminology, right? But as long as he goes out there and he plays with his instincts, I think he'll be pretty good. So, like, I don't really feel like we lost a whole lot of value in regards to our interior defensive line. Now, here's where I always thought we needed some help. Okay, it's the edge rusher position, and I like to classify the edge rushers as part of the trenches, because 9 times out of 10, all right, on passing situations, they're putting their hands in the dirt, they're pinning their ears back, they're going to get the quarterback. There will be cases where one of our outside linebackers, but edge rusher in this case, may drop back into coverage depending upon where the blitz is coming from, right? That could happen, but typically I'm going to just reserve these guys as being part of the trenches, okay? They're rushing the quarterback. Now, when we look at who we have currently on our roster, okay, we've got Lorenzo Carter, which I am like, is Lorenzo Carter going to be an edge rusher? Or are they going to push Lorenzo Carter to like more of a off-ball interior linebacker position and just let him utilize his sideline to sideline speed to go and make tackles happen? That's something that I've been thinking about, and I'm like, I mean, it's not the worst idea in the world, right? and we could definitely use him to, you know, maybe run some A-gap type blitzes on passing downs, possibly, right? Because I don't necessarily think we need to be dropping Lorenzo Carter back in coverage. Lorenzo Carter needs to be, you know, setting the edge, right? Cleaning up on rundowns, right? Stopping the run, maybe blitzing through the middle, something along those lines, right? I don't necessarily know if I'm going to have Lorenzo Carter necessarily playing coverage that much, but it's just a question, right? It's a question. And the reason why it's a question is because, you know, we just drafted Azeez Ojulari, okay? Now, Azeez Ojulari is a guy, right, who's going to come in and he is going to probably take somebody's job on the edge. Like, it's very likely. It may not happen week 1 or week 2, but this man's going to probably take someone's job on the edge, okay? And then we got Oshane Ximines, who was playing pretty good until he got hurt. So it's a very good chance that, you know, that's one of our starting edge rushers. Very good chance. We also have, and I gotta look at his name. Hold on a second. His name is Ifeadi Odenigbo. I hate this guy's name, y'all. I don't want to talk about Ifeadi Odenigbo. That name sucks, okay? I'm just putting it out there. I don't like his name. However, this is a guy who's going to probably transition from being like a defensive end to being more of an edge rusher, outside linebacker, passing situation, go get him kind of a guy. So, and I feel like this guy is going to be kind of a rotational kind of guy, right? And I look at him kind of in the same vein of Ellerson Smith, right? Who we just drafted. These are guys that are going to be rotational guys, right? They're going to be coming in. They're going to be, you know, getting a snap here or there, you know, during a series. I just don't see these guys as like straight up starters, but I see them as being important pieces from a standpoint of rotation. Then we've got Ryan Anderson, we got Carter Coughlin, we got Cam Brown, we got Trent Harris, we got Cale Garrett. All these guys are kind of depth, okay? Now, again, this is the one spot that I feel like, man, this is where we needed the most help. I guess the guys in the front office agreed because they went and they drafted these 2 young bulls to come in and try to help this team out. Now, when I look at these trenches, all encompassing, right, I feel like we could have potentially improved, right? Now, I'm not a fortune teller, I'm not a soothsayer, and I'm not smart enough to come here and tell you 100% whether any of the positions, the position groups that I'm going to talk about for this, I guess, off-season, preseason period, I'm not smart enough to tell you, oh yeah, we definitely got better. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to be monsters. I'm never going to do that. Y'all should know that about me, right? But when I look at the names on this list, when I look and I see who we got, I'm like, okay, all right. You know, we've got some dogs. We got some goons. Like, I still believe in Oshane Ximines. I still think Oshane Ximines is going to be really good. He's got to stay healthy. Same thing with Lorenzo Carter, even though I have no idea where they're going to use him. Like, I couldn't even tell you where they're going to use Lorenzo Carter. I just couldn't. But when I look at like Azeez, when I look at Ifeadi, when I look at Ellerson Smith, when I look at Oshane, okay, when I look at like a Carter Coughlin, right? These are guys that in a rotational type of situation, man, they can come in there and they can make some things happen. They can make some damage happen. I personally think that we're going to be just as good, from a trenches standpoint as we were last year, and maybe a little bit better. Not like just this crazy amount of increase of production, but I do think that this team is going to be better in that standpoint. I think we can still be stout against the run, okay? And I personally think that we're going to have a bit of an easier job of getting pressure off the edge. I really do. That's just my personal feelings. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, hey, listen, they don't pay me to do this. I jump on YouTube and I give you guys my opinion. So overall, right? I feel like this team did get better from a defensive trenches standpoint. I think that this team is going to be as good and maybe even a little bit better than we were last year. I'm really, really excited to see how we use these players in regards to, formations, packages, who's lining up where. I mean, you can move a lot of these guys around all over the place, especially the interior defensive linemen. Man, they could shuffle these guys around and use them all kinds of different ways. All kinds of different ways. And I trust Patrick Graham, right? I trust Coach Chaos. I trust them to figure out the best way to use these guys. We do have some talented guys in this position group, and I personally think that this is going to be really fun to watch, y'all. Now, I love watching the trenches, so that's why it's going to be fun for me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Why don't you let me know in the comment section? Hey, listen, I appreciate y'all giving me a little bit of your time, okay? I hope that everybody is having a fantastic day. I'm going to have some videos dropping more than just this, so, keep your eyes open. Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the comment section, hit the bell, tell everybody about PTA Sports, and I will get up with you guys later. Deuces.